is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to you with a quick video. I wanted to let you guys know I got some new merchandise available, not just t-shirt anymore. I got different type of t-shirt, different type of shirts and logos that you can purchase on my spread shirt, and also hoodies now. We have expanded and added more to the channel and more merchandise for the brand. Thanks for supporting. It will be in the description and the links will be in the comment section below. Thanks for helping me and supporting the movement. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis. I'm going to check out the video. What is good, YouTube? Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We wanted to talk about a very popular question, and that's Malcolm Brogdon, a guy that has got a lot of coverage because he ended up leaving the #1 seeded Milwaukee Bucks, a team that was favorited to be the favorite in the East to go to the NBA Finals, but ultimately fell short by losing 4 straight games to the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, when you see a team like that that's young and they have the athleticism, the mobility, and the outside shooting, you would think that one of their main priorities would be to bring back Malcolm Brogdon, the guy that shot 50, 40, and 90, a guy that can handle the ball, create his own shot off the dribble, hit some floaters, and hit some spot-up threes off the ball. That's what the modern-day point guard and shooting guards can do, a little bit of playmaking, a little bit of scoring, and still being able to stretch out the floor. I think that that is a key that has really showed that it has worked. We even see the better players like Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard, try to master defense while also being able to take over games, while also being able to play off other stars. And I think Brogdon was one of those guys that was special in that regard because he was able to do it so easily, and he was able to master his role, even having a career season averaging 11.7 field goals, and that was it. And he only played 28.6 minutes a game. Then you look at the 50% from the field, you look at the 42% from 3 and 3.8 attempts, you look at the 92% from the free throw line, you look at the 4.5 rebounds and the 3.2 assists, while also giving you 15.6 points. That just screams like a guy that you definitely will want to keep. But the Bucks obviously went in a different direction, and it didn't really take them that long. They was able to get rid of Malcolm Brogdon the first day of free agency. Not really even the first day. It was basically the first couple hours. They knew that they was going in a different direction, and do kind of make you wonder why was he just so easy to be thrown away? What is really going on, and why would you get rid of one of the young, most promising players that is basically the modern day point/shooting guard in the NBA? And he guarded Kawhi Leonard, one of the best players in the world, if not the best player in the world, pretty well in that Bucks Raptors series. And that's what you want. You want a guy that can knock down threes, but also play defense and guard, and being able to switch and guard multiple positions while still not being scared at going out there and attacking and getting his own. But I was a little surprised, and I did tell you guys months before that it is kind of crazy that Brogdon will be a free agent when they just had paid Giannis. They had to pay Brook Lopez. They had to pay Chris Middleton all in the same year. Plus, they had the other guys that was able to be moved, like Eric Bledsoe, that they was going to lose for basically nothing because he didn't really have that many people that wanted to trade for him, even though he was one of the best defenders at that point guard position. Most of the teams have a point guard that they have already, or they have been able to get them through the draft, or they wanted to go in a different direction. But Eric Bledsoe also being a non-shooter really hurted his brand too and his name, because everybody wants somebody that can shoot and handle the ball, and Bledsoe has never really been a consistent three-point shooter, and he continues to disappear in the playoffs when it matters the most, especially when you're trying to win a championship and you're the #1 team in the NBA. That comes with great expectations, and teams really expect you to deliver. And it was kind of shocking that the Bucks not only lost the series, but they lost 4 straight games, which you would think that a championship team would never do that, especially because you had the MVP, you had the Coach of the Year, and you had the Executive of the Year all on the same season, and you cannot go through. And then you put on top of that, Giannis is a defensive player, and Brogdon is too, and Bledsoe is too, and Chris Middleton is decent. What happened? And for them to let Malcolm Brogdon go after having the type of season that they had and getting to the Eastern Conference Finals and going up 2-0, that kind of make you wonder what happened then. Why aren't you trying to run that team back to the best of your ability? Why aren't you trying to go younger? Why aren't you trying to space out the floor and really get the best out of Giannis while also having a player that complements Giannis offensively and defensively, and that actually raises your ceiling because you have a guy that can exceed and have a bigger and better season. And instead, they went from let's try out Brogdon to now let's replace him with a bevy of other players that can come in like the Wesley Matthews and them that they picked up with the money that they had from Brogdon leaving and some other guys, and they just used it to space out. I mean to put some talent on the roster and make them deep because I feel like the Milwaukee Bucks are one of the deeper teams in the entire NBA, and a roster has been very well built, but I understand that Brogdon has had injury problems before he was drafted. He had injury problems in his sophomore season, playing 48 games and only starting 20 of them. And then obviously his junior season, which was last year, was 64 games, and he started the 64, but that's a significant amount of games missed. But when you have a guy with his type of upside, that a lot of people feel like he can be an all-star, which we're going to talk about this season. It is kind of crazy that he will be available for the Pacers, and this is a team that need more offense. They need somebody with upside. They had to take a gamble and they had to take a risk on somebody that can really pay off and really fit well with Victor Oladipo, a guy that's already on the extension and a guy that has already proven that he's one of the best players in the world. And he's a guy that can handle the ball, play, make, and shoot. But he really didn't have nobody else that can really help him out in that regard. And that's one of the reasons why they lost to the Cavaliers. They had to use Victor Oladipo so much to create opportunities and create shots for himself while also really not having nobody that can really balance it out and give him breaks and help him get easier shots. He had to work for everything, and usually that's a philosophy that helps you lose in the playoffs because it is a team sport and the team is mainly trying to stop and neutralize you because you are the best player on the team. Even though you have to overcome that, you only can really truthfully do so much, and that's why we've seen teams like the Cavaliers that got beat by the Celtics and got swept by the Spurs because one great player only can do so much. And I told you guys that all season with James Harden. Yeah, James Harden is amazing. Yeah, he averaging 36, but what did everybody say? He's not going to win that type of way when it comes to the playoffs, and they didn't even make it to the Western Conference Finals, and they couldn't even beat the Golden State Warriors without Kevin Durant for 2 straight games because he missed the rest of that game. They couldn't even force a game 7, and even when we seen Damian Lillard, he was a star, he had some help, but he struggled in that Golden State series, and they ended up getting swept. So you do need somebody that can really give you that versatility. But the best part about Brogdon is he's a great defender. And that's more important than anything. You have a guy like Oladipo who has always been known as a defender, even coming out of college, but his offensive game has took so much of a leap forward that he needed that. And I was surprised that they pounced on the opportunity that quick and say, hey, you know what? We're going to pay Brogdon. That's our guy. That's the guy that we need. And he had the injury problems, and he has a guy that can he really be a 20-point scorer. And I think that's something that we all want to see. How good can Brogdon actually be? And having a coach like Nate McMillan that has used guys like Brandon Roy and them and got them to the all-star level, but he also trusted them in big moments. He went to them in big moments, and he has made successful systems, even with Victor Oladipo, for example, in his career. And it really will be fun to see unleash Brogdon, a guy that don't have no Oladipo for majority of the season, and he has to prove that he's worth his money. He has to prove that he can really go out there and compete and be something special, and that this 50-40-90 is not just a fluke. This is how he really played. This is what he really is, and it seems like he's a guy that's humble, down to earth, and cool, but he also wants to show people himself that he is better than just a 15-point scorer, which isn't bad. It's not nothing bad with being a 15-point scorer. But now he has an opportunity with Oladipo down to be a 20-plus scorer and be an all-star in just his first season in Indiana, while also showing to the Bucks that he was a piece that they're going to miss and regret getting rid of if he can play up to that standard that we think he can, and if he can stay healthy. But in my personal opinion, I like Brogdon. I was surprised that they let him go so quickly. Like I said, for free agency just to start, and he was already gone. I was just surprised that the Bucks really seemed like they didn't even really think twice about letting him go, and they moved on very well, in my personal opinion, talent-wise from him, and they did good with the roster. But it's just something special about having two-way players and having guys that are confident and having guys that can really do things multiple on offense and defense, and that's a rare thing, and those are things that's very highly coveted, and that's the guy that the Pacers got. But not only that, they got two of those type of guys, even though I don't think they're going to be a championship favorite, really, but it just depends on how well Oladipo and Brogdon mesh, how well they play off each other, and how well they can shoot that ball when it comes to the playoff time, because that's something that you really need to be able to create your own shot, but also give shots for others, but also knock down shots. And these two guys are the hybrid players, and that's something that we haven't seen in a while. And they damn near the same size too, which is crazy that they are basically kind of like in an identical way the same player, but also having different strengths at the same time. As Oladipo is the better scorer, but Brogdon is the better defender, and he's the better three-point shooter. So I really think this is going to be exciting and really think it's going to be fun. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you think Brogdon can be an all-star? Do you think he can be a superstar? Do you think he can be a 20-point scorer, 23-point scorer? Can he even get as high to 25 plus like we done seen Oladipo do? Or do you think he's just a complimentary role player? Or do you think that him and Oladipo can be one of the best dynamic duos in the entire NBA? And they both can play off each other and be 20-point scorers together, instead of just having one do great and the other one be solid. Have both of them do great, just like we see with CJ and Dame, both being 20-point scorers. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Quinn Wade Basketball Analysis, I'm gone. And let me know what you guys think about Malcolm Brogdon and the Indiana Pacers, and what you think this guy can do and bring to the table for this team. Like this video, check out my older videos on my channel. I have many playlists. I break down rookies, I break down players, I break down summer league. I do cover the draft, and I got a mock draft up already. Not only that, I do podcasts, and I also talk about the game of basketball, whether it comes to summer league, free agency, trade deadline, buyouts, and also I cover top 10 discussions and stuff like that. So you like this type of video, you like the NBA, check out my older videos and my playlists. I enjoy making these videos. You guys enjoy watching.